I call to order this regular meeting of the Board of Public Works this Tuesday, March 1st of 2022. First up, we have messages from board members. Do we have any messages from the board?
Just want to thank everyone for all they do and for the reprieve of the weather in March. This is really nice for everyone to be able to work in nicer weather than rain and snow. So thanks to all of you.
Thanks, Beth. Next up, we have petitions and remonstrances. If there's anyone here to make a public comment on something that is not on the agenda this evening, now is the opportunity to do so. If you'd like to make a public comment about something that's not on the agenda, you're welcome to use the raised hand function, or you can type a comment in the chat and we will make sure to connect with you.
I don't see anyone for public comment on items not on the agenda.
Thank you. Next up, we have consent agenda. Under the consent agenda, we have the approval of minutes for February 15th, 2022, a request to extend road closure on 12th Street by City of Bloomington Utilities, and that's March 2nd, 2022 through March 31st, 2022. We have resolution 2022-05, the Jill Bierman 5K, a contract with MSI Security and Investigations for security patrol of garages, and approval of the payroll register. Do we have any items that need to be removed from the consent agenda this evening? Seeing none. Is there anyone who would like to make public comment on something within the consent agenda? Again, you can use the raised hand function, or you can type a comment in the chat and we will make sure to hear your comment. Seeing none, is there a motion on the consent agenda?
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
I almost heard you, Elizabeth. Could you say it again?
Second.
Thanks. And I will call for a vote. Beth Hollingsworth?
Yes.
Elizabeth Crone?
Yes.
Kyla Cox-Deckard, yes. Motion passes. Next up, we have new business. Under new business, we have resolution 2022-06, Parks and Recreation International Food and Art Festival.
Hey there, my name is Holly Warren. I'm the new Assistant Director for the Arts for the City of Bloomington. Thanks for welcoming me here this evening. I'm working on this festival in collaboration with both the Parks and Recreation Department and the Community and Family Resources Department. The application is for a permit for a new festival. This would be the first year that this festival would take place. It's slated to happen on Sunday, April 10th from 2 to 6 p.m. And it would feature a slew of arts vendors and potentially arts performers and also food vendors in the parking lot that's at Dunn Street and 4th Street, and potentially also on 4th Street between Dunn and Grant. So we're requesting that Dunn and Grant actually be closed as part of this festival, with the closure starting at 10 a.m. on the 10th and going all the way until 8 p.m. So we have enough time to do the shutdown. We've been working very closely with restaurants in the area to make sure that they are aware that the event is happening. We've also been inviting them to participate as vendors at the festival. We've gotten pretty good buy-in on that. We've also shared this application with departments at the city, including engineering, the police department, fire department, and office of the mayor, and they have all signed off on the approval of the street closure. I'm happy to answer any questions about the proposal. Just let me know. Thank you.
Hey, it's Adam here. I just wanted to clarify, Holly, the event application does not actually include a closure of Dunn and Grant. It's just 4th Street between Dunn and Grant.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, that's correct. I'm sorry. Yeah, so it's correct. Yeah, thanks for that clarification, Adam.
Questions from the board on this item?
No, I don't have a question.
And we did confirm during the work session that the event is free to attend. So anyone who wants to come through the event is welcome, and there's no fee for that as well. All right, any public comment on this item? You can use the raised hand function or type a comment in the chat. We'll make sure your comment's recognized.
I don't see anything in either.
Seeing none. Is there a motion on this item?
I move that we approve Resolution 2022-06, Parks and Recreation International Food and Art Festival.
Second.
I will call for a vote. Beth Hollingsworth,
Yes.
Elizabeth Crone,
Yes.
Kyla Cox-Deckard, yes. Motion passes. Next up is change order number 4 for the 17th and Dunn intersection improvements project with E&B Paving LLC.
Good evening, Matt Smathers with the engineering department. This project covered the replacement of the traffic signal at intersection of 17th and Dunn. Change order number 4 would deduct $136,494.84 from the contract for various contract pay items that were under the project estimate. If the change order is approved, the new contract sum would be $1,268,818.64. This project was bond funded, and I can answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Questions from the board on this item?
And Matt, you said yesterday that that project is complete.
Yes, construction was complete last August, and this would be the last change order for the project.
Final change order. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board on this item? Any public comment on this item? You can use raise hand function or you can comment in the chat.
I don't see either.
All right, seeing none. Is there a motion on this item?
I move that we approve change order number 4 for the 17th and Dunn intersection improvements project with E&B Paving LLC.
Second.
Okay, I will call for a vote. Beth Hollingsworth,
Yes.
Elizabeth Crone,
Yes.
Kyla Cox-Deckard, yes. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thanks. Next up, we have alley right-of-way vacation for phase 1 east, the Hopewell development.
Hi, Patrick Durgas, City Engineering Department. Adam, could you make me host so I could share the images again?
That's asking for a lot, Patrick. I don't,
since we saw them yesterday, I can. Okay,
there we go.
There it goes.
I can't believe I was able to do that so easily.
Congratulations.
It just took 2 years, Adam, and you figured it out.
As we discussed yesterday in the work session, the Phase 1 East project, through the master planning process, had envisioned new streets for the area bound by 2nd Street to the north, 1st Street to the south, Rogers to the west, and Morden to the east. The new streets that they envisioned was a new east-west connection that will extend west of Rogers and into the current hospital site. After some deliberation, we've named it University Street as it lines up with the existing University Street on the city grid. And then also an extension of Madison Street. Madison is just north of 2nd Street here. And this extension will line up with it, and then also to the south. To accomplish this development, to open up this area for the proposed developments that we show here, we're looking to vacate the existing north-south alley and east-west alley. The 2 red rectangles here show the existing alleys to be vacated. This southern alley, shown in green, was vacated back in 1980 to make way for the IU hospital laundry facility that's currently there over the alleyway. Scrolling to the next slide, this shows the streets that I just described and the additional right-of-way that's being granted with this project. 2nd Street, they're granting, I believe it is 14 feet of right-of-way to allow for future projects along 2nd Street. And then I'll have to zoom in. I believe it is 6 feet along Morton to match the improvements that we'd like to do. And then again, the Madison and also University Street. And then in addition, the project will also donate these park facilities at the end to Parks and Recreation. Not counting the parks facilities, the right-of-way dedication is approximately 4 acres, and the alleys to be vacated is approximately 0.3 acres. So this is a large improvement, at least in area for the city. And then also connection-wise, the north-south alley obviously goes from 1st to 2nd, which will be replaced by Madison going from 1st to 2nd. And then the east-west alley dead-ended. And so University Street will actually provide a better connection than currently exists from Morton to Rogers. Utilities in the alleys per Indiana code are allowed to remain in place, and also per Indiana code are allowed access to their facilities as they remain in place. And so we will not be relocating the utilities prior to the vacation of the alleys, but as we develop the site and create the new right-of-way in the area for the utilities to go, we will relocate them all into the new right-of-way, opening up this area for the future development. The city, through the Redevelopment Commission, has agreements for all of the parcels adjacent to these alleys, except for in the southeast corner here, Saint Real Estate owns these 3 parcels. And I have spoken with Saint Real Estate, Corinne St. John, and she has provided support for the project in the alley vacation. And then all the other bordering is Centerstone and IU Health, and the city has agreements to purchase those. The IU Health one is through the purchase agreement for the whole site, and then Centerstone is through a land swap. Centerstone has these 3 parcels here. We'll be trading portions of parcels of IU Health's property to create their parking lot and provide that to them in exchange for these parcels here. I believe that covers it, and I'm available for any questions.
Thank
Patrick,
you.
excuse me, Patrick. The part that the parcel of land that you're giving to the Parks and Rec, that is a Greenway Space, so that will be a park area for people to use. That looks like a nice parcel of land, a green space along there.
Correct. I'll zoom in on this. So this parcel of lot 2 will be a wetland garden, which will serve as a detention for the future development to the west. Because of the grades of the site, we can't actually put much drainage to this wetland, but we will direct drainage from the current hospital site to this wetland garden. And then as we develop, we'll be able to utilize it more for future developments. Then here is a tree grove. And then continuing to the east, there will be a stage here, a lawn. This is an out-of-date image. I used the master plan to show kind of where we started from, and that was the basis for the alley vacations, but there will be a fountain here, not a spray pad, and then a pavilion area. And all of this will be deeded to Parks and Rec, and Parks and Rec is currently engaged in the design and making decisions on the facilities and what they'll be taking over.
That's really nice. That allows people that live in that area to have a nice stage and area to go for picnics. That's great. When this is all approved, when do you plan to start this project?
So everything is dependent upon IU Health transfer of the property. That kicks off the next transfers of property, which then creates the city right of way. IU Health is working with us and working as quickly as they can to try to transfer this property to us. The dates have not been set in stone yet. We're hoping it's going to be within the next 2 months. And then after that, after the IU Health land transfer, we can start the demolition of the buildings. And so that will follow. If everything goes perfectly, we're looking in the June timeframe for the start of demolition. And then once the properties are clear and the right of way is established, then the city will start engaging in building the infrastructure that will be city infrastructure for the future. And so we hope that that will all happen later in the summer or early fall. The first part of the project will be focused on Centerstone and providing their parking facilities. And then hopefully that will all be completed before winter. And then the rest of the project will be completed the following year.
All right, thank you. Thank you for the update.
For the privately owned property, the St. Real Estate property that's not part of the transition of this development, I know in the staff report it said that this vacation of right-of-way did not appear to affect that property or its usage or plans for the future. I just wanted just clarification on that point, that there's not anything about this particular alleyway that is granting access or something like that that would be needed to be adjusted for that property.
So the original home that was on this parcel that was demolished, I believe, a couple of years ago, had access both an actual formal drive off of First Street, and then also had a wraparound gravel lot that also touched the alley. And so based upon the previously established drive approach, if this was to remain as a single parcel, they would be entitled to a drive approach again off of First Street. I believe, though I'm not positive, that there might be other developments, and this would end up being all three parcels. And so then we wouldn't have multiple drives right next to each other along First Street. But leaving this parcel as it is entitles it to a drive to its closest right of way, which would be First Street.
Thanks. Any other questions from the board? Any public comment on this item? You can use raised hand function or chat if you have a public comment on this item.
I don't see anything.
All right, great. Patrick, do you want to stop sharing on this one? Thanks. Is there a motion on this item?
I move that we approve alley right-of-way vacation for Phase 1 East Hopewell development.
Second.
All right, I will call for a vote. Beth Hollingsworth?
Yes.
Elizabeth Crone?
Yes.
Kyla Cox-Deckard, yes. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thanks. Next up, we have request for alley closure for the north-south alley north of East 3rd Street and East Grant Street from Gillette General Contractors from the current date through April 29th of 2022.
Good evening. This is Paul Kerber with the City Engineering Department. Gillette General Contractors is currently building a project on the northeast corner of 3rd and Grant. This alley is adjacent to their project just to the east. During construction, the limestone was at a different grade than they expected, and that created the steep dirt slope to the east of their project. And they're requesting this alley closure for the safety of motorists in that alley. It's currently closed, and they expect it to remain closed until April 29th, 2022. That will be when they're able to get everything stabilized, so there's no longer a safety issue. And Tom Rittman is available if there's any more questions or comments.
Are there questions from the board at this time?
Can you talk a little bit about just very basically what you will do to stabilize that spot?
Sorry about that. Yeah. So what we've done is we've brought Beatty Construction in. They're a shoring contractor that does a lot of shoring in central Indiana. They've engineered a process where we will attach wire mesh and rebar to the soil there, and then they will spray shotcrete concrete on that to stabilize the earth to keep it from wanting to fall down. And then during that process, we will continue with pouring the footings and trying to get the walls ready to be formed up as quickly as possible so that the wall can then be backfilled. There's 10 feet between the western edge of that alley to our wall. So there's plenty of room there once we've stabilized everything to get that wall built and get it backfilled and make that alley more safe than it is. So that's the intent. We signed a contract. We just got the quote from Beatty on Friday. We signed a contract with them yesterday. They've already done the engineering. I have those in my office for approval. And once I get those approved from the engineer of record, we will get them scheduled to be out there and do the shotcrete procedure.
Okay, thank you for that additional information.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of traffic do you usually see in that alley? Is that heavily used by businesses?
We really haven't seen a lot of traffic through there. It seems to be there's a Duke utility pole that kind of sits in the corner of the property there, and it almost makes it look like it's not a passable alley, but it is. So the Duke pole is right to the west side of that alley. And you almost kind of feel like you're having to drive around it to get into that alley, but it is a passable alley.
Are there businesses that have back doors onto the alley for unloading?
No.
Trucks? No, there are no. Okay. All right.
Not in that portion of the alley, Beth.
Okay.
You know, there is alley further north that definitely have businesses that are adjacent to the alley there, but not in this section of the alley. And Tom, just to clarify, the portion of the alley that you plan to have closed is the north-south, the southern section of the north-south alley from 3rd Street to the east-west alley or so.
That's correct, yeah.
Okay. So north of the east-west alley to 4th Street, that would remain open, as would the east-west alley?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, thank you.
And so clarifying that, Adam, because of the 4th Street closure on Grant, that means vehicles coming into the open portion of the alley would be coming in from the east primarily? Is this?
So with 4th being closed between Lincoln and basically the alley at the north-south alley there between Lincoln and Grant, that section is closed in front of the fire station. The India Garden restaurant, I think it is there, they have access on 4th still. And then 4th will remain open between between Grant and Dunn outside of the festival that we approved, but this would be open by then.
That east-west alley off of Grant will still be open as well.
So Tom, help me here. Does the east-west alley go from Grant all the way over to Dunn?
I believe so, but it certainly goes to the north-south alley.
Yeah. Okay.
So I guess, so vehicles would have access to that portion of the alleyway that we are closing. They would have access to the northern portion.
That's correct.
It's not closed off by our other closure. I just was trying to make sure there wasn't an issue on the other end.
They'll definitely easily be able to access it right off of Grant Street. You know, they'll have to head east for a half a block, and then they can turn north on that north alley, north of our closure. Okay. So they would be able to access that. Now, we will be coming in soon for the Grant Street closure, but we intend on having this work done prior to that.
Okay, folks, can you see my screen right now, the map?
Yes.
Okay, so the portion of the closure is from East 3rd Street here. This is right where my cursor is where Tom was referring to the Duke pole. All right, so the closure is from here on 3rd Street, basically to the back side of the Coldstone Square building. So from 3rd to here. So you'll have east-west alley access behind the building here from Dunn Street. And then you'll also have the north-south access from 4th Street. So this will still be fully traversable by vehicle, this area here. And it does look like, let's double check.
Yeah, that alley should be open.
This alley down here. Yes.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
It looks like this well, yeah, that doesn't go all the way through though.
I guess it doesn't. Yeah, I thought that did.
So, so again, it's this section that'll be closed, and then there will be access from 4th to the east-west alley, and so cars and deliveries can be made here.
In any case, it sounds like it's essential to have this done as a safety measure.
Yes, we've got staff approval for an emergency closure once we discovered we had this issue, and then when we determined it was probably going to have to be a longer term, that's when we went to staff and are requesting to close the alley for an extended period of time.
All right. Adam, can you stop sharing unless you have something else?
I'm trying my best.
I can see the sweat pouring off of your forehead.
Cannot leave me alone with Zoom.
Nice colors.
It's funny, your desktop wallpaper is the same as mine, so I'm having this like dissonant experience where I feel like I'm on my own computer.
Cannot get back to. Oh, there we go. Got it. There we go.
Nice work. Okay.
Good job, Adam.
we were really cheering for you.
April's getting off easy again.
Are there any other questions from the board before I open it up to public comment?
Just have they had many comments from businesses that are affected in any way?
We have not. We sent out certified mailings to all the adjacent properties. I think, as Adam said, I didn't have the Zoom information to put on. I didn't get that till last night. So I did not have that information on our certified mailing to the neighbors, but I've not heard back. We have talked to several of the surrounding businesses and, just let them know what was going on.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, Adam, did you have another?
No, I'm guessing you're going to open it up to public comment. This would be the time for Mr. Singh and to offer his questions and comments.
Yeah, I will go ahead and open it up to public comment. So Adam, if you want to unmute Mr. Singh.
Yes, actually, by listening to all that, we actually kind of clarified this is not our alley, because the way the Gillette, they actually sent us the drawing. I thought that was our alley that goes from 3rd to 4th Street. That's touching my restaurant, Taste of India. And there's another business owned by me on the corner 309, it's a Omar Mexican restaurant. So I thought that's the alley there was referring, but now I know it's the one that touches the Little Italy and the smoke shop by actually the other side of us. So we're all good on that.
It's on the east side.
East side, yeah.
And
they didn't put like other street names.
The
just
drawing is very poor. They didn't put numbers and all that. So it doesn't apply to us. That's what we are saying.
I will admit that's a poor drawing, and I was driving in my vehicle when I was drawing.
Oh, scaring me, Tom.
Yeah, because it was not even saying like 4th Street or where the Lincoln is and all that. So I thought it was our alley.
We are at the west end of the construction site. There's an alley going from 3rd Street to 4th Street.
Yeah.
Passing in front of Taste of India. We thought you were closing that. The city with the Jordan River construction already closed us from all sides. And the only access to our building is that alley. And we thought the request was close that alley. So that's why we were here.
I can certainly understand, gentlemen. So I'm glad this was all well resolved and not an issue here. So great.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for your patience with our major project outside of your restaurant. We appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks a lot. Yeah. All right. We should.
Any other public comment? You're welcome to use the raised hand function or type a comment in the chat if you have public comment.
All right. Are you asking for other public comment?
I did. I do not see any. We don't have any indication of additional public comment. So I will call for a motion on this item.
I move approval of request for alley closure for the north-south alley north of East 3rd Street and East Grant Street from Gillette General Contractors March 1st through April 29th, 2022.
Second.
All right, I will call for a vote. Beth Hollingsworth?
Yes.
Elizabeth Crone?
Yes.
Kyla Cox-Deckard, yes. Motion passes. Next up, we have staff reports and other business.
Adam Wason here, Public Works Director. Just want to make note of a few things. First, I want to note Russell White's retirement from the city. I know the board was familiar with Russell. I've worked with Russell for many, many years in different capacities here at the city. I just want to wish Russell well wishes into his retirement. I know he's excited to hit that stage of life and get to enjoy that. So thank you, Russell, for your years of service to the city of Bloomington. And then secondly, just wanted to make note, potholes. You know, with winter weather events and everything else, this is our typical time of year where we're trying to do as much patching of potholes as possible. Happy to report that we ran overtime Friday and Saturday with 2 crews each day, about 60 person hours, and on Friday and Saturday alone, just doing extra, as you folks know, street department works Monday through Thursday, 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. So ran some overtime hours on Friday, Saturday. And then Milestone has opened up their asphalt plant. So we're able to get hot asphalt here yesterday, today, and hopefully the next couple days. So we've been running patch crews all day, every day. Over the weekend, I think we filled something like 300 potholes alone. I haven't gotten a count from the last couple of days, but actively going above and beyond just traditional efforts there, knowing that, you know, beginning of March is always the time when we have that, the most potholes around the city, and just part of the freeze thaw, cold, warm type of thing. And so just thanks to the street department and all their efforts. I know Herb Kinzer and his team were out all weekend, so thanks to them. And otherwise, that's all I have today.
Thanks. If residents notice a particularly bad pothole, should they file a U report, or what's the best way of notifying the city if one hasn't been tended to yet.
Well, hopefully if somebody finds a really bad pothole, it's either in the county or state jurisdiction, but if it's not and it's in city jurisdiction, they can call 812-349-3448 with a specific location, or they can jump on our website and use our U report app and report those through the U report system that we have. But either way, we'll get to those as soon as we can.
Thanks. All right, next up we have approval of claims. Do we have any questions from the board on claims?
No.
Do we have any public comment on anything in the claims? Seeing none, is there a motion on claims?
I move approval of claims $859,707.98.
Second.
All right, I'll call for a vote. Beth Hollingsworth?
Yes.
Elizabeth Crone?
Yes.
Kyla Cox-Deckard, yes. Motion passes. And if there's no other business, I will call for adjournment.
And see you in 2 weeks in person, hopefully. Adam, you'll let us know.
Yes.
Yep,
Thanks,
I'll be in
everybody.
touch. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.